Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I want to talk about something that I can definitely relate to and something that I have dealt with in the past. So for today's video, we are going to be talking about emotional eating, binge eating disorder, because the thing is, I was a victim of binge eating disorder for basically my whole life up until I was 21 and diagnosed with ADHD. So yeah, let's get on to that. But first, if you could smash me a big thumbs up down below and subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'll forever be grateful. So let's get on to the video. So I used to be a little bit of a binge eater, and when I say a little bit, I don't mean a little bit, I mean like a lot. So when I used to go out, I used to buy like a packet of crisps, but I can't just eat like a few. I would have eaten the whole lot, you know, and then I'd still be hungry. But the thing is, I wasn't hungry. I think because I was undiagnosed, I was just very impulsive, and I was kind of, you know, it was just very difficult. I struggled a lot with the impulsiveness when it come to eating. I couldn't stop myself, even though I wasn't hungry. I couldn't stop myself from eating. It was almost like that was the only thing that made me happy. Like, well, I felt happy, but then I wasn't happy about the way that I looked and my weight. So binge eating disorder is just as important as any other, you know, eating disorder out there. You know, a lot of people will probably be quite like embarrassed to open up and speak about their emotional eating, their binge eating, because the thing is, a lot of people will just think people think they're greedy. And the thing is, yes, it may look like that, but there's so much more behind it. So I'm going to kind of talk to you about what emotional kind of eating is and what binge eating is, and we're just going to wrap it up and talk about that, and I'm going to give you some ways that could hopefully help you. So there is a huge link between ADHD, emotional eating, and binge eating disorders. They're very, very closely linked, and it's all connected by impulse. So our lack of impulse control can literally, it can result in us not having the ability to control what we're eating, and the impulse and the compulsion of just wanting to eat junk food and eating the wrong type of thing. Just like everybody else, sometimes you will have a bit of an issue with boredom eating. You're like, you don't have to have ADHD to have binge eating disorder, but there is a huge link. And sometimes it's because we don't kind of understand the messages that our mind, you know, our brain and our body are sending us. Just like sometimes we don't understand and we can misinterpret some of people's actions towards us, the situations, scenarios. Sometimes we just find things a little bit harder to process and understand. So that is why there is a huge link between ADHD and overeating, and that is because we sometimes misinterpret the messages our body is sending to us. Instead of our body kind of saying, I'm bored, it can literally come across as, I'm hungry. Because it's all a bit muddled up, and we struggle to kind of separate I'm bored and I'm hungry, and then it basically leads to binge eating disorder, because every time we feel bored, we'll turn to food because we think that is what the feeling is. So yeah, that is why there is a huge connection there. So yeah, we need to learn to avoid food as our boredom stimulation. Don't turn to food. I know it's so much easier said than done, but instead of, you know, going straight to food, maybe try switching up an activity. Try, oh, maybe I'm getting bored, let's, I don't know, go outside for a walk. Instead of going straight to food, you need to retrain your mind to think, maybe I'm bored, let's get up and do something. Let's stimulate our mind in a different way. Because the endorphins that we get from food could literally be the same as what we get from, you know, going outside, having fun, being, you know, exercising, meeting up with friends, being social, having a laugh. It can give us the happy hormones. And I mean, yes, I would rather go get 50 donuts than go stand with some friends, because I just don't like social situations. So that's probably why you know, yeah, it's probably why I struggled with binge eating disorder, because I just give in to my food urges. So basically, because there's a huge link, it's really to do with our kind of inability to understand our feelings and connect them with what they actually mean. But I am not a doctor. These are tips from myself, from people that I know who have ADHD, and basically Google. So binge eating can look a lot different in many other ways. So here are some ways that binge eating could look. So you could eat impulsively. Emotional eating is your coping mechanism. You eat as a response to your emotions. Ice cream, breakup, you know, yeah. You eat when you're stressed. Oh yeah, 100%. You eat to feel happy.
Yes, I mean, yes, 50 donuts will make me happy.
So you kind of seek solace from food. You have trouble losing weight, and this is something I totally relate to. You just go around in a cycle, like, yes, I'm motivated, I'm gonna do it. 2 days, yeah, I'm bored, and it all starts again. Yeah. So here are some ways to help combat binge eating, emotional eating, like whatever you want to call it. Here's some ways to combat that. Do not diet. Just choose better options. Don't call it a diet. Don't cut out everything, because the thing is, if you make yourself know you aren't allowed food, you're going to want it more. Allow yourself better options. Give yourself options. Oh, I've had a chocolate bar today, but tomorrow I won't be having one. I'm going to have, I don't know, a low fat, a low sugar yogurt instead. So instead of cutting things out completely, try to moderate your good food that makes you happy. Like, you are allowed to be happy over food. Like, that's not bad. I'm not saying that's wrong. You know, just try to moderate your intake of sugar and junk food. So instead of having like chocolate crisp, try having some fruit. That's quite sweet. Try having, you know, sugar-free fizzy drinks rather than fizzy drinks. Have some vegetables. Like, have some vegetables. Drink more water. That's a super cliche thing, but if you drink water before having a meal, you won't be so full up and you won't end up eating as much. That's a good trick. So the next one is set yourself realistic goals. Don't say, oh, by next week I want to lose 5 stone, because obviously that is not going to happen. Losing weight is something that takes time, and you have to like learn to change your kind of style of eating. It's your lifestyle you change. It's not changing your body. It's easier to think of things as like stages and more of a change, rather than like, I'm never allowed chocolate again. That's gonna make anyone cry. But if you say, I can only have 2 chocolate bars a month, at least in your mind, well, I'm working towards my next chocolate bar, which is in 2 weeks time. Like, give yourself realistic goals rather than just completely setting yourself up for failure. Set yourself realistic goals. So definitely learn your triggers. So if you find that being around certain people at certain times of the day will kind of make you want chocolate or milkshakes or, you know, crisps, kebabs, takeaways, if you're encouraged by certain people, try to move away. Try your hardest to, you know, get them on board and say, look, I'm trying my hardest to change my way of eating. Can you help me by not encouraging me? Can we do a healthy kind of takeaway instead? Can we make one from home? If people love you and they respect you as a person, they will 100% help you. The most important one is you have to accept yourself. You have to love yourself for who you are. Because if you don't like who you are never going to give yourself enough credit. So £1 loss is a lot of weight to lose. But if you kind of think, oh, I've still got a bit of fat here, like, you have to accept that that is you. Unless you love yourself, you are never going to be happy, and you need to be confident. You need to be motivated and encouraging to yourself. Stop being unkind to yourself. You're beautiful, whatever shape, whatever size. Everyone is different, everyone is unique, and everyone is beautiful. So don't aim for weight, no. Aim for health. So for me, this one is very, 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 very important, as this actually triggered something inside me that I didn't know was there. I started to really, really hate myself. I was weighing myself after every single meal. I didn't want to eat if I put weight on. I started to really hate who I was. I hated my body, and I started to hide away. I just thought I was fat in everything, and I hated it. And the thing that kept making me hate myself was the scales. The scales would say, oh, you put on £1 or you've put on £5. And that would literally change my whole entire outlook on how I look. Like, if I lost £2, I think, oh, I look great. But putting on £2 would make me hate myself. So I would 100% say ditch the scales, or only weigh yourself once a month, once a week. Don't end up weighing yourself obsessively like I did every meal after, because it's just not, that's not right. Don't do that. So in order to kind of make the temptation a little bit less, try to not buy food that is your trigger, or food that you know, if it's there, I'm gonna eat it. Try to buy foods that will encourage you to eat healthier. For example, you could buy carrot, like, you know, carrot sticks, like cut up apple, yogurt, healthy fruit juices, smoothies. There's so many healthy things that you could buy that will still taste amazing. But if you're buying chocolate and then you look at chocolate and a carrot, of course you're going to want a chocolate. You're not going to want to eat those carrot sticks. So don't buy your trigger food. Try to move away from that. And if you are treating yourself, go to the shop and just buy one of them. Don't buy a stock. Keep them in your cupboard and think, oh, I'm allowed like one of them a week, because if they're there, you're going to eat them. So just try to buy on demand. Try not to overbuy, because it can make it really tempting. So like I say, I am not a dietitian or a therapist or a doctor. I have just been, and I've dealt with binge eating disorder, and I know how hard it is. So like I say, I used to have binge eating disorder and emotional kind of eating disorder, but I managed to stop that when I opened up and spoke to my mum about it. You know, when we spoke about it, it made me feel so much better. And ever since, I've lost 5.5 stone over just over a year. And it's really made me feel a lot better in myself, because I know I'm healthier. You know, I know that, yes, I've lost weight, but I'm not skinny, I'm not a model, I'm not an Instagram model, I don't have a six-pack. But you know what, I'm healthy on the inside, and I know on the inside I'm such a nice person. And if you don't like the way I look, then that's your problem, not mine. You need to realise that you are beautiful, you are one of a kind, no one is ever going to be you, and that is your superpower. You are worth it. Doesn't matter if you're going to have 10 ice creams, because you know what? If that makes you happy, that makes you happy. But you just need to make sure it's in moderation. Make sure you are keeping your heart, your health. You just need to be healthy. Your weight is just a number, but your heart, you only have one of them. Keep your body healthy. It doesn't matter about the size you are. Just make sure you're eating good food, good nutrition, and keeping yourself healthy. That's all that matters. So, thank you so much for watching. I'm now going to go eat 10 donuts. No, I'm not. I mean, I want to, but I'm not going to. So, yeah. I'll see you next time. Bye!